Last Thursday, American Battery Technology Company, or ABTC, published their financial results for Q4 2025, or as they call it, Q2 2026, due to their offset fiscal year. I'm already up more than 400% on this stock, but I think it still has massive upside potential if the team manages to execute, because we're still super early in the growth cycle. We will go into the results of the quarter, look at the latest updates on our different projects, before moving on to an update of my forecast model to get a share price projection until 2029. If you want to get more details on the company, check out my deep dive video. ABTC will eventually supply battery-grade materials, both from a primary source with their lithium mining operation and secondary sources from battery recycling. So they have several projects in various stages of completion, but their first revenue-generating asset is their battery recycling pilot plant in Reno, Nevada. In their reporting, they currently mainly focus on the revenue and gross margin evolution of this plant. Revenue showed a very nice development with 4.8 million in Q4 of 2025. The dip in Q3 is due to several weeks of facility enhancements they had to push through to be able to receive a large batch of grid-scale battery energy storage systems they had won a contract for. I had estimated 3.3 million in revenue for Q4 as I foresaw some bumps in scaling up production after those works, so I was positively surprised by this quick turnaround. On the increase of revenue, they mentioned it was driven by increased processing of BESS, end-of-life electric vehicles, and consumer electronics. Those BESS batteries are the ones for which they performed the facility enhancements in Q3. On the call, the CEO Ryan Meltzer added that they have additional ramp-up operations in place for this facility and additional operational efficiencies to put in place. So this should result in a further revenue increase and margin improvement in the coming quarters. So ABTC intends to implement the two-step extraction process depicted here. Phase 1 is an automated demanufacturing process that yields black mass and some byproducts like plastic, steel, copper and aluminium. In step 2, the black mass that is produced in step 1 is treated to yield nickel, cobalt, manganese and lithium. The materials that are the output of phase 2 are much more valuable and should thus result in a higher revenue per ton of the batteries processed. As far as we can tell, ABTC today only has step 1 up and running, and there was no mention in their earnings of progress on the implementation of phase 2. In my model, I assume that 5% of black mass will be processed through step 2 as of Q2 2026. Of course, a business only survives if it turns a profit, and the first target to hit is a positive gross margin. As you can see here, this figure is still quite negative at minus 33%. Meaning that COGS, or cost of goods sold, at 6.4 million is higher than a revenue of 4.8 million. However, ABTC likes to break down their COGS into several components, which you see here. The dark gray area is a depreciation related to the factory. So the unfortunate thing from a financial standpoint is that when you start up a factory, you first need to spend a lot of money to build it, and the depreciation of that capital expenditure hits the P&L as soon as you start operating the plant, even though it will take quite some time to scale up production and thus generate revenue. This depreciation is not a cash expense in the period, as in the company doesn't have to spend money from their bank account to pay it. They did that when they built the factory. The second component of COGS is share-based compensation related to people working in the factory, in light blue. So these employees get stocks as part of their compensation packages. These aren't cash expenses either. ABTC simply gives employees shares in the company. If you subtract these first two buckets from total COGS, you are left with what ABTC calls cash cost of goods sold, depicted here in red. In their reporting, they compare this metric to their revenues, as they feel it's a better way to judge their gross profitability. As you can see in Q4, the revenue was equal to their cash COGS for the first time, which can be considered a nice milestone in their journey towards an eventual positive net profit margin. ABTC is working on a commercial scale recycling plant, which will have 5 times the capacity of the one in Reno we just discussed. Here's Ryan giving an update.
That we are moving forward with the design and construction of a second battery recycling facility in the Southeast US. So even just the past few months, we've had several team members at our site in the Southeast US, really working with local partners, a lot of our strategic partners in the area as well, and moving the second recycling facility forward.
In their Q4 earnings documents, they also mentioned they have accelerated the design and commercialization of the plant and that they have progressed on several new supply chain agreements with strategic OEM partners to facilitate the supply and offtake of materials for this facility. In my model, I project the start of production for this plant in Q1 of 2028. On their lithium clay ground mining operation, they mentioned they are focused on scaling the pilot plant into a full-scale commercial refinery. Ryan mentioned the following on the call.
We are now working diligently on the definitive feasibility study to be published shortly. This really is the last step to having a bankable design as we engage with each of our investors for the investment in the refinery mine itself, in addition to finalizing the offtake agreements for the product out of this facility.
So we should soon have a clearer view on the timings of the project as well as the financing, which will be about $2 billion, according to the pre-feasibility study. In my model, I have projected the production to start in Q1 of 2028. Moving on down the P&L, you can see that their Opex is staying relatively flat, even decreasing in some quarters. This is partly because they can now shift certain of their costs into the COGS we just discussed, since their Reno plant started generating revenue. Q4 came out at $8.3 million, or 173% of revenue. However, compared to the same quarter last year, the cost came down by $4 million. The company mentioned in their 10Q that a majority of the decrease is related to approximately $4.1 million of stock compensation expense associated with fiscal 2026 executive performance milestones. That is not recognizable as an expense in the current quarter, as the milestones were not finalized and approved by the board of directors until January 2026. This amount, in addition to the estimated expense for the quarter ended March 31st, 2026, will be recognized as expense in that quarter. So we can expect a significantly higher Opex in Q1 2026. Opex will of course have to come down drastically as a percentage of revenue from the current 173% to generate a profit. In my model, I have Opex coming down to about 15% by the end of 2030. Finally, the company further increased their cash position to $49 million through share offerings and an exercise of warrants, and they have no debt. At the current rate of negative cash flow, this will last them about 18 months, which makes sense. It's not smart for a startup to raise too much money early, as they can take advantage of their increasing share price to raise money later by selling less shares. Let's move on to the forecast, integrating the inputs we have just discussed. If you want to get a detailed look at the assumptions behind the model, please have a look at this video where I go much deeper into my approach. The main impacts on the model are the faster than expected ramp up of the Reno plant in Q4, so 4.8 million versus 3.3 estimated, and the higher share issuance, 15% versus 10%. There were no major updates on the lithium mining operation and the second commercial recycling plant, so I will not change the assumptions in the model for those. So here's the resulting revenue projection. You can clearly see the big impacts of the two new businesses coming online in Q1 of 2028. This will drive the share price forecast, since it will be based on the price to sales ratio. Here you can see an overview of the price to sales ratio at which the stock has historically traded. So this is not a stock price evolution. Rather, it shows for each day how many dollars investors are willing to pay for every dollar of revenue generated in the next 12 months. The light blue part of the line takes my revenue forecast for part of the calculation. The straight light blue line indicates the average price to sales ratio at which the stock has traded over the past 6 months, which comes out at 20.8 with a standard deviation of 7.2. If we take this figure, multiply it by our projection of the next 12 months of revenue for each day and divide it by the number of shares outstanding, we get to a stock price projection, depicted here by the light blue line, with the dotted gray lines indicating the band within which it would be expected to trade. Here you can see an expected upside of about 700% until the end of 2028. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see the window until the end of 2027, showing an expected upside of 200%. Again, the forecast is driven by a revenue projection at a stable price to sales ratio. So it makes sense that the projected go live of the lithium mine and commercial battery plant in Q1 of 2028 have a big impact on the share price in that time frame. This chart is also very helpful to see if it currently makes sense to buy or sell the stock, because it shows if it is trading below or above the average price to sales ratio, reflected by the light blue line. Far enough below the light blue line is a buying signal. Far enough above is a selling signal. Here you can see that the peak in October was a clear selling signal because it made the stock trade extremely far from its average price to sales ratio. Currently the stock trades just slightly below the light blue line, which I would consider more of a hold situation. In my news videos, I always end with this picture for the different stocks in the portfolio, so you can see an update of this chart each week. So the earnings in a nutshell. Revenue was above expectations, cash cost of goods sold was in line with revenue for the first time, the cash position gives run rate for the next 18 months, the stock still has massive upside potential and is trading slightly below the average price to sales ratio at the moment. So what are your thoughts on the company and its ability to execute? Let me know in the comments if you are bullish or not. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next one. These are just my opinions. Please supplement them with your own research before making an investment decision.